Attention.
So we've now gone up to the start, to the beginning of the Prince Albert Challenge Cup, the event for University Cox 4s, and we saw a fantastic final between University of Washington Huskies and Yale University, where Washington were the favourites. In this race they are on the right hand side, the Husky crew, and on the left hand side, would you believe, again it's the Yale Bulldogs, and Yale pulled off a famous and unpredicted victory in the Ladies Challenge Plate. Can these men from the junior varsity boat, or the second varsity boat as they prefer to be called in America, take their revenge?
Yeah, and we saw the earlier race where Yale kind of dominated the Ace event in the ladies. So, you know, I'm sure as a coach from Washington, you'd have been sitting there working out, right, we want to leave Henley with a win this year. So this race is kind of battle royale. It's East versus West in the States. You've got the Pac-12, the Ivy League school. So, you know, this is a grudge match between these two universities.
Well, we saw Steve Gladstone, the Yale coach, triumph in the magnificent race in the ladies' plate earlier. Will his program see another unlikely victory for the Connecticut-based club? We're looking at them in the foreground with the drone flying over us. You can see the pace, and the two Coxes, they're lying down in the bow seat. That's Lewis Grant, you can see in the crew nearest to you. Then on top of you, Lisa Caldwell, Coxing the Huskies. I think the Huskies are making a move now, Mark.
Yeah, they've got to commit. They want to stay in contact. They don't want Yale to get anything on them. And when you're racing and you're in the heat of battle like this, if you can feel the crew beside you, markers just seem to fly by because you're just in your zone, doing your thing, just laying as much work down as possible.
We see there the Bulldogs from Yale just going down. There's the bowman in the Yale crew. That's Leon Van Hooris, and then it's Dougal Hamilton, Oscar O'Reilly, and the stroke man, Josh Tilden. And they are battling, but I think the Huskies have got the upper hand, and that's a real drive from their stroke. Philip Walchak, closest to you. Philip Walchak, behind him is Sean Rafferto, and then in the two-seat, Ed Namby-Luxmore. We'll get a shot of him, but Mark, of course, he won the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup for schools with Stan Laludis that we just saw. There's a shot, the man with the blue hat just in front of Jake Zier in the bow seat with the orange cap on. Ed Namby-Luxmore, the Brit in this Washington crew, and these four men are so strong that they cannot get into the University of Washington varsity aid, Mark.
Yeah, the program they have at Washington is one of the best in the country. You know, they dominate the IRAs. They're dominating the Pac-12. They just seem to win everything. You know, they've got so much depth and talent there. But this one is a close race. This could be the race of the day. This is going to go to the wire, these two crews here.
So you've got University of Washington, the Huskies from the West Coast on the left of your screen. On the right, it's the Bulldogs from Yale, Connecticut, from the East Coast, the Ivy League college. And they led, but it's the Washington Huskies who perhaps will get some satisfaction for their defeat earlier in the ladies' challenge plate.
And this is a sort of race you love at Henley Regatta. You're coming into the enclosures, you're side by side, the crowd is going absolutely mental. And you're just trying to keep your concentration, keep a cool head. You know, your body's going for absolute hell at this point. Everything's on fire. But you've got to just keep laying down more work, more power, just to try and keep your Balbo in front of the other crew.
So there we see the two Coxes. On your left, it's Lisa Caldwell from University of Washington, the Husky Cox. On your right, it's Lewis Grant, the Bulldog Yale, and that's a look across from the bowman, Leon Van Hooris. And can they still do it? They'll still have the motivation of that incredible win that Yale pulled off against Washington in the ladies. And they are blade to blade tip, aren't they, Mark?
And they're both in the neutral water again in between the two lanes, so there's always that chance of a little clash with blades, but they're both pressing as hard as they can. The crowd is just getting louder and louder as they come into the stewards' enclosure or through the middle of it.
So it's the University of Washington that just prevail. It's the first time at Henley for their stroke, Josh Tilden. And what a welcome he's had to this course, had to battle through many rounds to get here. The crews had to race yesterday, and Washington do get the compensation. Delight, the Huskies will take a Henley medal home. And Yale, well, perhaps it was too much to ask for Yale to pull off 2 wins over the Washington Huskies. Windmills in the water from the Washington 3-man, Sean Raffetto, Ed Namby-Luxmore, the big 2-man, the Brit in the Washington boat. He is absolutely breathless, and of course Jake Zier likewise points across to the Yale crew.